Welcome to the testing report for Carpenters Elementary for school year 2020-2021. I'm Jennifer Moore, supervisor with Blount County Schools, and ordinarily I would present this brief information in person at the school. With COVID restrictions in place for safety, I'm happy to share this presentation with you virtually. I'll take a quick look at student growth and achievement, and we'll share benchmark data. This should take only a few minutes of your time. As you know, considerable resources are devoted to testing in public schools. Why is that? Here are the main reasons we test. First of all, testing gives us feedback on our students' academic progress. By testing, we're able to see how they progress from one year to the next and how they compare to other systems in the state. Testing also helps us build student and teacher confidence in their readiness for the next academic level. Teachers use test results to adjust their instruction. Testing students provides accountability and fairness. Everyone is held to the same standard. And finally, testing helps us uncover success stories. We should always remember that although testing is important, it is essentially just one snapshot of a much bigger picture that we tell about each student. Other student information is necessary to fill in that whole story. We test in the four core academic areas: math, English language arts, science, and social studies in the upper grades. T and Ready tests, unlike the old school achievement tests that we might have taken as students, are designed to determine students' level of understanding, not just memorization and test taking skills. The examples on the next slides show how testing is different from what you might recall. In math, students solve multi-step problems using their problem-solving skills, and some problems are done with a calculator and some without. In English language arts, the emphasis is on writing, including supporting their answers with evidence from passages that they read. We will not be testing social studies in grades 3 through 5 this year. And finally, the current Tennessee academic standards are assessed on the science TCAP. Those require students to demonstrate deep understanding of scientific concepts in a variety of areas, including life science, which would be what include biology, earth and space science, which would include geology and astronomy, and finally physical science, which would cover concepts from the fields of physics and chemistry. When your child does his or her best on a test, it gives us the best reflection of what he or she knows and can do. In order to help them do their best, parents can help in several ways. The first, of course, is good attendance and rest. Students who have attended school and who are rested on the day of the tests are always at an advantage. When parents work with the teacher to reinforce what's taught in class and to speak with their children about what they're learning in school, this helps a great deal. Talking to your child, reinforcing not only the content, but also their work ethic and their determination to do well and to do their best. We suggest too that you challenge your child. Ask him or her to explain their work to you. That's a way that we know how well someone understands something, is if they have grasped it sufficiently to explain it to someone else. It's also helpful for parents to model being an adult learner, showing students that learning is fun and worthwhile and beneficial, and also having them see you overcoming challenge helps them be more determined and more able to face challenges themselves. And finally, parents help so much when they communicate positively about school and learning. All the things on this checklist can help your student do the very best job and truly reflect what they know and are able to do. Testing produces lots of numbers in the form of data, and those numbers tell us part of a story about each student. We look at two types of data: achievement and growth. We like to use the analogy of family photos back before there were cell phones. Achievement is that snapshot of how the student performed on a given day, the day the test was given, what learning he demonstrated on the actual assessment. Growth is the longer term look at how the student's learning has progressed over time. To think of it another way, achievement is one photograph taken on one day, while growth is a story of progress, like a photo album. Due to COVID cancellations, statewide testing was canceled last spring in 2020. The only current data that I have to show you today is from our iReady benchmarks. You may be familiar with the work your students do in ELA and math on iReady on their devices. iReady also has a testing feature that shows us how students are progressing at various points in the year. This chart shows the comparison of how Carpenter's Elementary students progressed from their first iReady testing in August, which you can see on the bottom line, to the recent tests in mid November, which you can see on the top line. As you notice, the number of students who were working on grade level, which is shown in green, increased significantly from August to November, from about 32% to over 50%. Likewise, the number of students reading below grade level, shown in pink, decreased during this time frame from about 17% to 11%. Keep in mind that this shows progress from November, and they've learned even more since then. Likewise, this chart shows the comparison of how the students progressed from the first reading test, from the first iReading math test in August, which is shown on the lower line, to the more recent tests in mid November that you see at the top. As you notice, the number of students who were working at grade level, which is shown in green, almost doubled. Likewise, the number of students reading below grade level, shown in pink, decreased significantly during this time. That's what we like to see, the number of students reading at or above grade level increasing, and the number of students reading below grade level decreasing. Keep in mind, too, that students still had over a half year to continue learning when this testing was done, and that they will be able to continue to progress toward grade level or beyond from now till the end of the school year. To circle back to state testing, when we look at both the snapshot or achievement and the photo album, which represents growth, sometimes known as progress, achievement shows us how they're doing at a particular time, and growth shows how they have improved over time. When we have state testing data at the end of this school year, we will have a wealth of information on the achievement and growth of Carpenter's Elementary School students. To take a little closer look at that so that when you see your students' results at the end of the year, you'll have a deeper understanding, I'll explain a little bit more about those concepts. To determine growth, we compare a student's current score to a previous year's score. That shows us the degree of improvement. For example, we might see academic growth from one diagnostic test to another within the school year, like I showed you a moment ago, from August to November, or we could and should see growth from one grade level to the next. This scale is used to illustrate whole school growth. The levels in blue or green are positive, while those in pink or red need improvement. You'll see this color scheme throughout the testing reports. Green and blue show positive results, while pink and red show negative. And it's always our goal to see as much blue and green as we can. Growth numbers tend to be very small. They hover right around zero. When we see growth numbers less than -2, we're seeing less than a year's growth per school year. Light green tends to hover right around zero, which means that the student is making the expected amount of progress. And darker green or blue shows that the students are making exceptional growth. When we see achievement and growth scores are received from the state, we'll report back to parents on how our students performed. We look forward to sharing that data with you. Other data is also tracked and reported by the state, such as the rate of student absenteeism. In the most recent report, Carpenters Elementary had a high score of 3.6 out of a possible 4. Teachers and staff are working daily to improve this number to 4 out of 4. If you have any questions about testing or student data, contact Ms. Tipton or Dr. Whitehead for more information. We appreciate your taking time today to learn about how we use testing and data to improve teaching and learning at Carpenters. We will be receiving this year's assessment data late in the spring, and we look forward to reporting our progress, achievement, and growth at that time.